played some football today.
You want to tell us about how you go?
Felt good. It was good to be back out there. Good to be around the guys, toss it around a little bit.
Joe, when was this the kind of timeline for you? When you kind of set this as the timeline?
You talk to a lot of different people. You talk to people who've been through it. You have an understanding of what the injury is and what the repair is, and then you just talk about it critically with the doctor and the physical therapist and everybody involved, and you just kind of take it day by day, see how it goes, see how it feels.
What happened on the injury?
Just got stuck in the turf. Typical turf toe. Just got bent back too far.
Can we go back to that day for you when you found out early on that it was a pretty significant injury? How did you process all of that, and what were those next couple of days like for you, knowing just how hard you had worked to finally have a full, healthy training camp? And can you just tell us a little bit about what was going on in your mind then?
Yeah, I knew it wasn't great when it happened. I typically have a good feel for those when it's going to be fine and when it's not. Yeah, obviously was incredibly sad, disappointed, frustrated, angry, all the above. You let yourself feel sorry for yourself for a little bit. It's easy when a couple days leading up to surgery and the couple weeks after when you can't really do much, and then it's time to get back at it.
You determined to play this year, and do wins and losses leading up to when you could play matter?
Yeah, we'll see how these next couple weeks go. There's a lot that goes into it. Like you said, there's a lot of variables that you have to consider, and we're just going to see how these next couple weeks go, see how it feels.
How tough would that be potentially fully healthy, but still not, hold yourself back from not playing, given all the work you've taken to get ready to this point?
Yeah, we'll see how the next couple weeks go, see how it feels, and we'll make a decision. There's, like I said, a lot of variables that are going to go into this, and the number one is how it's feeling and my health. So we'll just take it day by day like we have been throughout the rehab process.
The team has been through obviously a lot of adversity, Joe, since you left. How have you dealt with watching it? How have you dealt with supporting your teammates through all of the adversity the team has had?
Yeah, you try to do what you can, but it's difficult when you're not out there and you're not around like you normally are. It's a weird spot to be in. You try to do what you can, and also just grind by yourself in the weight room and in the training room when trying to get right. There's not much more you can do. You're not out there with the guys. You're not at practice, so return from injury is pretty lonely.
What's it about watching Joe Flacco come in and the way he's played, and there are things that you've seen in the way that he's played that you feel like you can apply to, you try to learn from and apply to the way you play?
Yeah, I think he's done a great job. I've had a lot of respect for him for a long time. He's been on a lot of different teams for the last several years, and he always goes in and plays well and puts the ball where it's supposed to be and is accurate and does a lot of things really well. So it's been fun to watch.
What's been your
variables you mentioned beyond how it feels is the win-loss record chief among them?
We'll see. We'll see how these next couple weeks go. We'll see how it feels. We'll make a decision when the time comes.
Are you running yet? Any lower body lifting? What's been the latest step here as you?
Yeah, we've been lifting for a while at this point, and running for a couple weeks now. So we felt good about my return to getting back on the field and testing it out.
When would you want to play? I mean, if things, let's say the team does do well, is there a timeline of when you feel like the soonest you would be available?
We have 21 days to figure that out. Could be early, could be late in that window. We're still pretty early post surgery for this injury, so we have a couple weeks of practice to figure that out and see where it goes.
How has this injury been different, if it has, from your knee, your wrist, to the toe?
It's another ligament injury, so I know how to deal with those. It's not a ton of on a scale of difficulty level coming back. This one wasn't really up there. I was back to moving pretty quickly and was able to get back into my strength and conditioning routine pretty quick. So my body's in a good spot.
You talked about coming back from your wrist, like football mortality and how that kind of opened your eyes to, you know, your career and how short it can be, or just really just all of those things piling up. How do you feel right now about that? And I mean, you sat similar at a podium a couple of years ago and said, you know, Super Bowl window is going to be your whole career. How's your mentality changed with all of that, and where are you at right now?
Yeah, you think about all those things for a couple weeks when you're trying to get the swelling down and you're not really moving around much. But I haven't really had a ton of time to think about that too much. I haven't really been in this spot where I've been injured, had surgery, and still had a chance to play in the year. So I've been juggling the injury mindset where you kind of take a deep breath and then get back to it, and then juggling that with the idea that I could potentially still play this year, and we could still be in it, and all of those things. So it's been a lot going on in my mind with those things, and it's a difficult thing to juggle. But now that we're getting closer and closer, now it's just more season mindset.
What's been the hardest part of juggling that?
You just think about a lot of different things. Think about a lot of different things. A lot of different things pop into your head. Wide range of topics, good, bad, interesting, and not interesting. A lot of different things.
Is this probably the most frustrating injury you've had, given that you had, you had the season off last year, had an off season, you had full camp, and then for it to happen mid-year so early, where does this rank among the ones that you've had in your career?
Yeah, it was frustrating. They're all frustrating. I was really happy with where I was at, and so that part was obviously incredibly disappointing. The amount of work you put into it, and for that to happen in that spot, it's tough, but that's life in this business.
What do you make of the team right now? The team is 3-6. The defense is struggling, much like it has the last few seasons. What are your thoughts on kind of how the season has looked for y'all as a team overall?
Yeah, I think early in the year the offense wasn't rolling, and I thought the defense was playing pretty well. And then lately, it seems like that has flip-flopped. But there's still guys doing good things. There's good stuff put on tape. It just feels like we haven't really put it all together. When you struggle that way, it's there's always guys doing good things, but the good things don't coincide with other people doing good things. So on offense, maybe your receivers are winning, but your O-line didn't hold up, or maybe your O-line held up this time, or your receivers didn't win. On defense, it's your guys covered well, but you didn't get any pressure, or you got pressure, but the guys got open quickly. And so when you're struggling on offense or defense, the NFL has a lot of good players. There's going to be guys putting good stuff on tape. It just feels like we haven't really put it all together.
I think you've put the number at 10 in the past is what you need to get in. There's only a handful of games left. Do you feel realistic that if this team can find it all together and click, in your mind, can this still be a playoff team?
Yeah, our division is wide open. There's a lot of, I think Pittsburgh's 5-4 at this point. We play them this week. So, everything is still there in front of us. It's very rare that our division looks like this, but it does this year. And so, I think we'll be at least in it until the end.
Is it fair to say with the wild cards that the best path forward would be winning the North? And
I think it would be very difficult for us to be a wild card team at this point. Obviously, a lot of football to be played, but I think that's difficult. I think our best path would be win the division.
It can be easy, Joe, for a locker room to start to fracture when things aren't going as you planned at the beginning of the year. Are you, even when you're not playing, able to be kind of a glue in your leadership role, or is that something you have to leave to guys who are playing?
No, you can still pick your spots, I'm not around as much, so I don't get as many opportunities. But there's obviously guys here, guys there, spots here, spots there that you feel like you can say something. Like it's never really been a huge part of my personality and leadership style, but it's there, and I do pick my spots for that.
Do you have a special shoe or anything in the shoe to protect your toe?
Yes.
Your foot was.
It's an ongoing process. We're figuring out what works for me. I have to have a lot of hardware in there to protect it. So there's been a lot that has gone into that. Yeah.
When you came back off the calf, I think in hindsight, I think in the offseason, you said probably came back a little too early from that. How do you go back and, having been through that experience, how did you put that into context for the toe and maybe what that might look like moving forward?
Yeah, I think muscle injuries are different from ligament injuries, and I've been through all of them. Know how to handle them. I feel really good about the repair. We feel good about how it's been healing. It's strong. I'm strong, and so we felt good about getting back out to practice and starting to test it out a little bit. Hopefully return to play. So we'll see where it goes.
There are some theories that crystals may be involved in the healing process. Is that what do you make of that?
Doesn't everybody have crystals? I got some crystals, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine it did, but I guess you never know.
21 days from today would be 4 days after Thanksgiving. How meaningful would it be to, given your history in Baltimore, be in a division game, to come back for that game?
Very.
Is that your target?
We'll see. We'll see how these next couple weeks go.
Your footwork has been so important in the way you throw your mechanics. What's your maybe your top concern as far as getting back to that, so the feet are in line with your
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about the actual mechanics of the throwing. That feels good. The toe, specifically the front toe, isn't very involved in that, and it's just the planting, and I'm strong enough, and we feel good about doing that. At this point, it's just the running, cutting, twitchy short stops that we're going to have to see over these next couple weeks, how it feels and where that goes.
Have you felt any sense of frustration with the defense in that last year? You had that great season, Jamar had that great season, and it still wasn't enough, and the offseason was supposed to be dedicated to fixing the defense. How do you have any frustration with a year later it continuing to be the same issues that's holding you guys back as a team?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of football left to be played, so there's a lot there's a lot of blame to go around here, but there's ample opportunity to turn that around. And like I said, I thought, for half of this season, I thought the defense was playing pretty good, and then the last couple of weeks I think we've struggled, but there's good stuff on tape still, and they've put that on tape. You saw it early in the year, so you just got to get back to playing complementary defense and getting pressure and covering and putting guys in good spots. I think there's plenty of opportunity, and we have all the talent in that locker room to make those changes.
We learned on quarterback that you dabbled with the piano as you were coming back from your wrist injury. Have you done anything outside the box to rehab a toe?
Nah, not really. A lot of piano being played in my free time these days.
Can you
A lot more free time than anticipated. So, what did you say?
If you hit the pedals with your toe on the piano.
Yeah. I've been doing that. Yeah.
How hard was it to stay away from the game, not talk to us?
Not hard at all.
Great praise. Were there moments where you just didn't want to talk about it, acknowledge it? You just had to get away from everything?
For sure. A couple weeks on, kind of kept my distance from everybody, and went through my own process and grieving and whatever you want to call it. But then you start to feel a little better, and you get back in the weight room, and you start moving around a little bit, and then the toe starts to feel better, and so now you're back into the groove.
Jamar's been really productive, and it seems like he's been more vocal this year. What's it been like to watch kind of his development in that regard?
I mean, he's fun to watch. Nothing surprises me at this point. He's going to get his no matter what's going on. You could put the ball in his hands and he's going to make plays. You target him, he's going to make plays. He's going to catch the ball. He's going to make people miss and be very productive. I think of all the things this year, that's the least surprising thing that I've seen.
As one of the game's great pure passers, what was your take on what Flacco did against the Bears?
Yeah, he's playing great. He's putting the ball where it needs to go. He's been accurate with it, getting the ball out. I think the O-line has been playing great. We've been running the ball really well over these last couple weeks. That's been exciting to see. And then obviously our guys on the outside are making plays like they always do.
You spoke of your admiration for him throughout his career, but now that you're in the same room, what about the personality of the person? What about that has interested you?
Yeah, he's fun to be around. He's quiet sometimes. I think we have that in common. And he'll throw some off-the-wall stuff out there every once in a while that I like. That makes me laugh. And he's fun to be around. I'm happy that I've been able to have this experience and watching him do his thing and see how he operates.